Right, so I'm in the process of replacing the rear plugs, or rear bungs as some people call them, of my boat, and I just wanted to go through the steps that I've taken to do this. So the first thing obviously is to remove the screws. You might need to get a screwdriver into here to knock this out depending on how hard it's in. Now, why am I replacing the plugs? Well, I'm getting a fair bit of water in my boat, and I've been told that one of the major reasons is if there's even a small pinhole either in the rubber of a bung, in that rubber, or in the rear between where this sits and the rear, the transom of your boat, a pinhole can actually lead to about 1 litre of water per hour entering in your boat. What made me realise this was when I undid these two lower bungs, I was getting about 10 or 15, 20 litres of water out, even only after being in the water for 4 or 5 hours. So thought it's time to do this. Okay, so you take the old one out. Okay, then what I did is I used my trusty Dremel tool to make sure that with a round head, a round sandpaper head, to make sure that this is nice and clean. And you can see the green exposed fiberglass here. So you've got a layer of fiberglass, then the brown is the wood. The transom of the boat is layered fiberglass, timber fiberglass. So I can now see my nice clean hull. I cleaned these with my Dremel tool and then vacuumed any of the dust out with the vacuum cleaner. What I've done now is also made sure that there's no old adhesive. Now, on this boat, they'd actually used silicone marine, which is not the best thing to use. Marine does not make a good seal. The best thing to use is actually a polyurethane. I'll show you the tube of the stuff that I'm getting. So the tube of product I'm using is this one here. It's by Sikaflex 291 Marine Adhesive Sealant. Now, this is a polyurethane product, and so it'll adhere, it's toolable, and it'll make a very, very good marine seal. So definitely this is the product that you need, and it has to be the marine polyurethane. Okay. Alright, so the steps I've taken are: 1, remove the plugs; 2, make sure that this is completely clean, and using a scraper I scraped off any silicone that was here. So I've just used a blade scraper, which I've now put away. I used my Dremel tool with a nice round sandpaper head to clean that out. I've then vacuumed the hole with my vacuum cleaner and sucked out any dust that was in there. The next step is to use acetone, and you must make sure that you use something like this, and it's acetone. Use a white rag. That's most important, to use a white rag, and you can see the crap that came off cleaning these. That's just the dirt and gunk that was back here. Now, the reason to use a white rag is if you use a coloured rag with acetone, once again there's the acetone, it will leave the colour of the rag on the back of your boat. Okay. Next step is to use your Sikaflex, to use your marine polyurethane, and here's my new plug. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that I put a nice thick coating of the polyurethane around the back of this, and also inside the screw hole. So I want to make sure that is nicely filled with marine grade polyurethane. I want to make sure that there's a nice layer of marine grade polyurethane here. Then I'll simply squish that into position and screw it back in and leave it for 24 hours to dry. If any of the polyurethane leaks around the edges, well, that's fine. You can just tool it off. I'm going to use I could probably just wipe it off with a wet rag. I'm pretty sure, like most other polyurethanes, I haven't read specifically about this, it is toolable with water. So what that means is that you can get a spray bottle and spray the area after you've squashed it in, spray it with a bit of water, and using like a paddle pop stick or a wet rag, you'll be able to wipe off any excess. Otherwise, you can always probably let it dry a bit, and then using a blade just cut it off and making sure that this is in position. Now to replace these things, I paid, what did I pay for these? I think they were, there you go, $9.99, $10 from your local fish and tackle shop. I know there's boating outlets that have it, but I decided to get the metal ones because that's what came off the boat. There's my old metal one, but certainly you can get plastic ones as well, and they're just as good. Okay, so I've done 2 of the bungs already, as you can see, and I'm going to try and show you how to prepare this third one here. I've used my acetone to clean around the edges. Here's my Sikaflex, putting it in there, going right around. It's a bit hard using a caulking gun. As you can see, I'm vibrating a little bit, but trying to create a nice flow around the edge. It's a bit hard, but just a bit of patience and a little bit of perseverance. And I'll just make sure that's nice and loaded up around the edges. Maybe just go give it a second layer as it's still coming out. Okay. Alright. So, got my trusty lollipop stick here, and what we do for cleanup is we give it a bit of a wet, and then because polyurethane is a toolable product, it actually comes off nice and easy. Just give that a clean like that. Another edge. Use a clean edge every time. Okay, and there you have it. That's installed. So about to do this last one now. So I've got my screws are ready. The hole's nice and clean. I'll check and make sure that it lines up. Tricky part is getting this glue in. Okay, so we'll just start over in this corner, push a bit out. We'll just try and get a nice steady flow right around. Looks like I'm putting some icing on a cake. There you go, look at that beautiful shape. Now I've been doing a double layer. I know it's probably a bit too much, but I think when you're talking about a boat sinking, it's never too much glue. Alright, so this has been cleaned with acetone and now it's ready to go. There it is, we'll just give it a bit of a squeeze and now we'll let the screws do the rest of the work. There we go, there's the first one in. Get the next one. There we go. Because they're countersunk screws, it'll sort of get it in position if it needs to. Right, so clean up. Best way is just to use a bit of water and trusty paddle pop stick. Okay, we're just going to run that around the edges like that and clean that off. Make sure we do that again. Clean that off. Cleaning off every time. There we go. But I think we're good to go. There we go. Done. And so they're all finished. And you can see a little bit of the white polyurethane around the edges. That's fine. But they're all done. 24 hours and should be ready for the water.